What is going on, guys? It's Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. The Royal Rumble is always one of the most must-see events for any wrestling fan every year, not only because it heralds the beginning of WrestleMania season, but because it also features the titular bout, which has proven itself to be perhaps the greatest gimmick match in wrestling history over the years. Fans inevitably spend a lot of time and thought speculating on who will be returning, with pulls between friends and co-workers not being uncommon during this period. This is made extra interesting by the inevitable surprise entrance that the Rumble has become known for. While it's pretty much a certainty that we'll be seeing the likes of Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman challenging for that coveted WrestleMania main event spot, what can be more exciting is trying to figure out who will show up unannounced and perhaps go on to win the whole damn thing. Now that we have both a men's and women's Rumble to look forward to, it also means that we can have twice the speculation, and that's exactly what we're going to be discussing here, so be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell, because today we're going to look at every rumored Royal Rumble participant. Number 1. CM Punk. Yes, it seems that it's inevitable that there will be many fans who will be expecting to see CM Punk finally make his long-awaited return to the WWE at this year's Royal Rumble. To be fair, if it was ever going to happen, then this would be the year for it. It's no secret that his exit from the company back in 2014 was under pretty bitter circumstances and led to lawsuits being thrown back and forth between both parties. Now that Punk has sort of returned to the world of wrestling as part of Fox's WWE Backstage, it makes sense that he would make the next step and return to a WWE ring. So what are the real chances of this happening then? While we'd love to see it, we're gonna say that the odds are pretty low on this one, sadly. Punk has seemingly shown no desire to return to wrestling and appears to be quite content to continue on in an analyst role for the time being, letting his fighting career lie in the past. Still though, you never know, it could still happen. Number 2. Edge. Now, this one seems to have more legs to it. If someone had told you last year that it looked like Edge might return to the ring, they probably would have called you crazy given the issues that he's had with spinal stenosis, which forced him into early retirement in 2011. But to be fair, people would have said the same thing if you'd said Daniel Bryan would have come out of retirement a couple of years ago. There are numerous pieces of evidence which seem to suggest that the rated R superstar might be making a miraculous return after all. Edge gave Elias a spear at last year's SummerSlam, which is very notable as WWE would have had to have cleared him to perform any moves in the ring. He's also recently been spotted in Pittsburgh while allegedly on WWE business. It should be pointed out that Pittsburgh is the home of WWE's Dr. Joseph Maroon, which lends further fuel to the fire. He's reportedly signed a new contract with the company and has posted photos of himself on Instagram looking pretty jacked. Edge has, of course, denied all of this, but then he would, wouldn't he? If he was going to return, then a surprise Royal Rumble entry would be the perfect way to do so. We think this one's actually pretty likely. Number 3. Paige. Yes, another wrestler whose career was seemingly ended over neck issues, Paige has also dropped a few hints on social media recently that has suggested she may be priming herself for an in-ring return at this year's Royal Rumble. She joked on Twitter that she would enter the Rumble at number 2 and take out Brock Lesnar. This was almost certainly said with her tongue firmly in her cheek, but some think it's her way of telling us that she'll be returning after all. She has just signed a new 5-year deal with the company, so it is possible that she managed to negotiate an in-ring return as part of this, but we think it's pretty unlikely, to be honest. Her neck issues are pretty severe, and even if she was to return, we're not really sure we'd want to see her risk her safety at this point. Number 4. Tyson Fury. Yes, Tyson Fury has been rumored to be returning to the WWE after his pretty poor match against Braun Strowman at Crown Jewel last year. There was even some speculation that Fury would be Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania opponent this year, so some think that he might even go on to win the whole thing. We don't think he has much of a chance of winning the match, but could he show up on it? We'd say the odds are pretty high on this. He's a big enough mainstream name and would certainly get some eyeballs on the event if he were to make an appearance. Since he already has a relationship with the company, it could easily be worked out. Number 5. Cain Velasquez. Another one who is rumored to be Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania opponent, Cain hasn't been seen on WWE TV since his loss to the Beast at Crown Jewel. What better way then would there be for him to return with a bang and get his heat back than by showing up in the Royal Rumble and dumping Lesnar out of it? It would be a great way to set up a rematch between the two and would get a lot of buzz around the guy again, as his aura has cooled off significantly after his last loss. VELASQUEZ is under WWE contract, so it's only a matter of time until he returns, and while he is recovering from a knee injury, he may have healed up faster than all of us realized. We give this one a 50-50 chance. Number 6. Ronda Rousey. Last year, we got the first women's WrestleMania main event between Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. But if truth be told, what most fans really wanted was Ronda versus Becky one-on-one. Well, maybe this year we'll finally see it take place if Ronda makes her return to WWE to win the Women's Royal Rumble. She's been on sabbatical from the company since WrestleMania and has spoken openly about her desire to start a family, but she still is under WWE contract, and it would probably be the biggest main event the company could realistically have at this point. Surely they could lure her back with the promise of another WrestleMania main event and the payday that would entail. We think this one's another 50-50 shot. Number 7. Killer KROSS. After leaving Impact Wrestling earlier this year, Killer KROSS became one of the hottest free agents in the industry before he finally put pen on paper with WWE. He's still to make his debut with the company, and most expected him to go through the NXT ranks before making it to the main roster, but why not start him out with a bang and drop him straight into the Rumble? It's worked for the likes of AJ Styles in the past, and could be just what he needs to get a kickstart with the company. We're not saying he should win the thing, just give him a good showing. There's a pretty decent chance of this one happening if we're guessing. Number 8. John Cena. John Cena hasn't appeared on WWE TV since July's Raw reunion, but there are rumors that the company has something big planned for him at this year's WrestleMania. And if that's true, then the Rumble would be a perfect place to start off a program for him. Cena will always get a reaction when he shows up and is one of the last true superstars in wrestling, so to see him show up at Royal Rumble again would be great and would get the crowd going wild with both cheers and boos. We're gonna go out on a limb and say that this one is likely. Number 9. Various NXT talent. Every year we get a few NXT wrestlers showing up in the Royal Rumble match, though this year there's been some suggestions that there won't be any. We think this is probably a bluff, and that we'll almost certainly see the Yellow Brand's hottest new toy Keith Lee appearing and having a great showing. We also wouldn't be surprised to see Finn Balor make a brief main roster return, and for Rhea Ripley to show up. The rest are up for speculation, but one that absolutely must enter and probably should win the whole thing is Shayna Baszler. This is heavily rumored already, and if Ronda Rousey is unavailable, then she would easily be the next best option to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, so we hope this one happens. Number 10. Santino Marella. Recent buzz seems to suggest that Santino Marella will be making a return at this Sunday's Royal Rumble, and this one excited us particularly as it opens up a very unique opportunity for him to appear in both matches. Santino was infamously awarded the Miss WrestleMania title after winning a Battle Royal while masquerading as his sister Santina, so we could see both his personas appear in the same night. Santino hasn't wrestled with the company since retiring in 2014, and we think it would be a great crowd-pleasing moment to see him return one more time. Maybe he could even try to beat his own record of only lasting 1 second in the match previously. We're thinking this one is likely. Number 11. CAIN. The current mayor of Knoxville has made a couple of sporadic appearances on WWE TV since his election, though nothing major. Rumor is he'll make an appearance as a surprise entry in the Rumble match this year, and it seems to fit. It would be an easy night for him and would allow him to get a nice crowd pop before getting eliminated by someone who he can give the rub to. This one is likely in our opinion. Number 12. NAOMI, Ruby Riott, and Jinder Mahal. These 3 WWE superstars have been on the shelf with injuries over the past few months, but it looks like all 3 of them have been cleared to return to in-ring action, and it only makes sense that these returns would come in the Royal Rumble match. Mahal is unlikely to win and regain the WWE title, but he could make for some good fodder for Brock Lesnar. NAOMI and Ruby Riott will probably be needed to beef up the numbers in the Women's Rumble, and NAOMI should hopefully be able to continue her Kofi Kingston-esque tradition of dodging elimination through increasingly acrobatic means. We see all 3 of these as being likely. Number 13. Shannon Moore. Last but not least, it looks like Shannon Moore may actually be returning to the WWE at this year's Royal Rumble. Moore hasn't been seen on WWE TV since 2008, but with him recently pulling out of a Canadian Wrestling Elite event due to an unexpected WWE obligation, it looks like he might be returning after all. He could surely pull off some impressive Rumble spots, and if he's making a return, we'd love to see him mixing it up in NXT with the likes of Lio Rush and Angel Garza in the near future. We think this one is almost a certainty. Well, that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching us take a look at every rumored Royal Rumble participant. Be sure to leave a comment below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.